Blah 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 blah. Translation: so you can suck my dick if you don't like me, 'cause I'm super popular. So suck my dick, 'cause I don't give a fuck if you hate my guts, 'cause I'm super popular. So suck my dick. Verlisify sucks. Oh god, he sucks. Now I'm gonna say this right off the bat. No positives. Absolutely no positives. This channel fails on every conceivable level. It's been a long time since I've gone in on somebody and completely destroyed them, but you know what, Verlisify? You are more than worthy of facing my wrath. You see, you, fine sir, have pissed me off so much that I'm dedicating this entire episode just for you. I'm going in on this punk. I am going in on this punk so hard that I'll leave nothing but a wake of salty tears in my wake. I don't care if that didn't make sense. I'm angry, so we're gonna tear into this asshole. So without any further ado, let's get into it, shall we? Verlisify is the Keemstar of the Pokemon community. Now what I mean by that is that he will very often go out of his way to attack other people for no other reason than to just be a dick. And one of his most famous targets was Tamashii Hiroka, another popular Poketuber and the subject of my last examining episode. Now, there are many things you can criticize Tamashii for, but instead of highlighting those things, he went down the route of personal mudslinging by personally attacking her. No, I'm not kidding, he actually did this. Huge shout out goes to Anime for Life for bringing this to light. It really just goes to show you how much of a dick Verlisify is, and I think it's much better to be shown rather than to be told, so let's roll the clip.
It says, honestly, it seems like Tamashii is just going to be a Twitch cam girl to make more money with less passion.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god. Stop fucking lying.
Hey Verlis, here's a little food for thought. Why don't you go look at some actual cam girls? Go check out Tara Babcock. Go check out Zoe Berger. Those are actual cam girls. Tamashii is not a cam girl. First of all, she wears non-revealing clothing, and second of all, her boobs aren't pressed out to a distracting degree, and third of all, she's more focused on the games she's talking about rather than her as a personality. How do you not get this? Are you this stupid? And I'm asking that legitimately. Are you this stupid? But according to your idiotic logic, any woman that talks about video games and gets on camera is apparently a cam girl in your eyes, right? Because that totally makes sense. Not only is that mentality incredibly stupid, but it's also sexist. Again, just because a woman talks about video games and gets on camera to do it, whether that be through YouTube or through Twitch, it does not make her a cam girl. You stupid fuck. Oh, and it gets even worse. His personal mudslinging of Tamashii goes to a whole nother level when he calls her the female Jwitz. Now, what reasons does he have for calling her a female Jwitz? Well, let's hear it from the man himself.
Okay, Tamashii and Moody. I don't like Tamashii too much because, there's things just that I don't like. I think Tamashii, she doesn't really do the greatest quality videos. That she's kind of like a female Jwitz, and she got popular for being a female Jwitz, and her videos aren't as wholesome, honestly. It feels like they're money-based. Are we talking about the same person? Like Tamashii Hikora? She does like a lot of top 10s and stuff. That's why I think she's like a female Jwitz. Just feels like a lot of view-grabby kind of videos.
So not only does he attack Tamashii, but he also attacks Jwitz. He attacks 2 Pokétubers for the price of 1. And really, how is she the female Jwitz? How is she the female Jwitz? Please explain. Based on what? And he never elaborates, and that's one of his biggest problems. He doesn't say jack shit about how she's the female Jwitz. Your whole diatribe against Tamashii would make a lot more sense if you simply explain why Jwitz is supposedly so bad. But you never do. And even if you did, it would still be a stupid diatribe, but at least there would be reasoning. At least it would actually make some semblance of sense, but you don't even have the decency to do that. All you are doing is just mudslinging, personally attacking people simply because you don't like them or their content. Now don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with going after popular YouTubers, but if you're going to do it, it has to have a point. You have to have a reason to call them out, and they have to deserve to be called out. You can't just say, oh, I'm just going to talk shit about these two people because I don't like them, and because they're more popular than me, and because they get more views than me and more traction, so I'm just going to talk shit about them, because it's much easier than actually trying to have a conversation with them. It's much easier than trying to engage with them. I'm just going to talk shit behind their back because, you know, that makes sense, right? Oh, and you accused Tamashi of being view-grabby, clickbaity. Yeah, that's incredibly rich coming from one of the biggest clickbaiters on YouTube. But apparently you're innocent in all of this, right? Right? Now you may be wondering, why does he hate Tamashi and Jwitz so much? Why did he personally call them out? Well, I have the answer to this. To the interwebs we go. Now, if you look at Tamashi's channel, she has over 660,000 subscribers. That's really, really good. Now let's take a look at Jwitz's channel. As you can see here, he has over 1.5 million subscribers. You're noticing a pattern here? The only reason why he talks shit about Tamashi and Jwitz is simply because they're far more popular than he is. He's jealous of them. He's envious of them. He wants to be in their position. But he can't seem to understand why he isn't in their position. And he thinks they're only popular because they clickbait and view grab. It couldn't possibly be because people actually enjoy watching their content. No, they're abusing the YouTube algorithm to their benefit so they can become popular. Jesus Christ. Is it any wonder that he only goes after more popular YouTube channels? There is no way he would go after somebody like me, or Doodletones, or Youngblood Fantasy 91, or Manga Comment, or Felicia Fan, simply because we're far too small to bring in the amount of views that he wants. And that's what this is really all about. All he cares about is views. Do you honestly think, even for a second, that Verlisify gives a shit about any of the topics he's talking about? Of course he doesn't. Because he knows what brings in the views, very much like a Keemstar, and that is drama. People love YouTube drama. Without drama, the ranting and commentary community wouldn't exist, and reality shows as we know it wouldn't exist, so people are sucked into drama. And he figures if he can start shit with as many people as possible, then that drama is gonna bring in the views, and as such, it's gonna make him money, moolah, ha 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 ha. What I really don't understand is the fact that you would think this type of behavior is okay. The fact that you would think that personal mudslinging would be okay. You have over 350,000 subscribers. Why? There's really no need to do this. The reason why Tamashi and Jwitz are popular is because they don't purposely start shit with other people. They don't start drama. They make their content they want to make, they focus on their content, and people watch it. It's as simple as that, and that's what you need to do. You need to just focus on making your content, and just shut your goddamn mouth, and stop talking shit about others. But let's be honest, that's never going to happen, because you're never going to take any responsibility for yourself. It's always somebody else's fault. And that's one of the biggest problems I have with the Verlisify. He doesn't like to admit when he fucks up. He doesn't like to admit to any wrongdoing. It's always somebody else's fault. He overuses the victim card so much that you'll never want to use the word victim again. I'm dead serious. You know, and this is exactly why the Pokemon community doesn't respect you. It's why nobody wants to collaborate with you. Invest in a mirror and look at yourself in it and realize that you are the problem. It's not Tamashi, it's not Jwitz, it's not the dozens of people who make videos calling you out on your bullshit. It's you. Deal with it. Verlisify also has the biggest ego known to man. I'm not even kidding. He will go on constant witch hunts, accusing people of hacking when they aren't actually hacking, but he freely admits to using glitched Pokemon. He feels so strongly about this, that glitching isn't hacking, that he made an entire video about it called Glitching Isn't Hacking. Here's a short snippet from it.
This is the big rule. This is the Pokemon legality rule right here. So, illegally manipulate Pokemon. The use of external devices such as a mobile app to modify or create items or Pokemon in a player's battle team is expressly forbidden. You may be disqualified from competition for doing this. This is the golden rule of Pokemon. There is no getting around this. If you are using PK Hex, if you are using anything that creates or modifies a Pokemon, even if it's within legal stats, it is a 100% illegal Pokemon. There's nothing legal, quote unquote, legal about it. That's the golden rule. Once you break it, it's over, and you can immediately see that that's cheating. But when it comes to glitching, there's no mention of glitching, and it doesn't use external devices. It's all done in-game.
Well, no shit, Sherlock. Everybody in their right mind knows that glitching isn't the same thing as hacking. Do you honestly believe that your audience is so dumb that you needed to make an almost 19-minute long video telling them that glitching isn't hacking? And let's talk about glitching and hacking for a second. When it comes to the realm of single player and competitive play, he does not make a distinction at all. So you don't know if he's talking about single player or competitive play. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to assume that he's talking about competitive play. Now, when it comes to glitching, if you're using it in single player, then who really cares? You're not affecting anyone else's experience but your own. However, when you're using it in a competitive battle, then it becomes a little bit murky. Now, glitching is nowhere near as bad as hacking, but it still gives you an unfair advantage. Because if you're using glitched Pokemon in a competitive battle, and it gives you an unfair advantage, that's still technically cheating. Now, yes, it's not technically against the rules, it doesn't highlight it. But still, you're using glitched Pokemon to give yourself an unfair advantage. And most Pokemon players want to battle legitimately. They want to have a nice, clean, fair fight. And when you use glitched Pokemon, then it isn't a fair fight. So, in a way, it is technically cheating. You know, like, it's murky, and some people may disagree with that notion, and that's completely fine, but that's just really the way I see it. So, well, it's not bad, nowhere near as bad as hacking. If you're using it in competitive play, then that's not any better, let's be honest. Now, through the issue of hacking, again, if somebody is hacking in the single player, then who really cares? Who gives a shit? But if they're using it in competitive play, then yes, it is wrong, it is highly illegal, and that is against the rules. Here's the problem, Verlisify. People don't believe you, because you have lied so many times about people hacking that nobody trusts you. At all. Like, I wouldn't trust you with anything regarding Pokemon, let alone telling me who is and isn't hacking. And you have the ego to claim that all of the dislikes on these videos are just from idiots, or just from haters. It couldn't have anything to do with the fact that you're deliberately spreading misinformation. It couldn't be anything to do with the fact that you blatantly accuse people that aren't hacking of hacking, simultaneously ruining their reputations. No. They're just idiots. They're just haters, right? Oh, man. And listen, if people are legitimately hacking, if people are legitimately breaking the rules, then let Nintendo and the Pokemon Company deal with it. You're not the end-all be-all. You're not the sheriff when it comes to exposing hackers because you haven't done a goddamn thing. And the day is gonna come when somebody is legitimately hacking, is legitimately cheating in a competitive battle, and no one's gonna believe you because of all the times you've lied about it. You're essentially the boy who cried wolf. And what does Verlis do when you disagree with him, you may ask? Well, this happens.
So it's not me picking and choosing what I want to apply to me, or some kind of wordplay and twisting my own hypocrisy to where I can never be wrong like all of these other comments and haters are saying. You just need a slight bit of intelligence and you can see no hacking, period. Everything else is kind of case by case, and then the Pokemon Company will intervene when they think it is bad enough to be prevented. Well, that doesn't make it any of those things. Just because you say something doesn't immediately make it true. Much like how the people are saying that I'm a hypocrite, or I'm a liar, or I'm just making up rules. Well, as you can see right here, I'm proving them wrong with lots of evidence. That it's the same with this entire argument. That only the unintelligent are the ones that are making their own cases without having any evidence supporting it. You can be against certain glitches, but as long as the rules are not strictly against them, then you really don't have a case. And that's what this video is about. That whenever I make a video on something and effectively give it my endorsement by making a guide about it, I make sure that there is some argument for that action's legality, and that's the biggest thing, is like looking at the rules. So people are getting mad at me like, oh, I'm just a hypocrite because I'm hacking. Well, glitching isn't hacking, and it isn't automatically cheating. So I don't understand how these idiots are getting confused by just very basic common knowledge.
Well, that's a surefire way to get people on your side. Just call them idiots. Just call them morons. Just call them unintelligent. Just insult them simply because they don't agree with your dumb opinions. That's the thing I don't get about you, Verlisify. You make controversial, highly opinionated videos on Pokemon, and then you expect people to just stay silent and not criticize you for it. Like I said with Tamashi, how about not creating a public account if you can't handle feedback? It's that simple. Oh, and did I mention he disables comments when people disagree with him? Well, he does now. Check this shit out. And let's not forget the time he claimed that other Pokétubers were being scummy for covering the exact same news story as him.
Now this absolutely blows my mind with how desperate and scummy the Pokétubing community really is. They see the success of my video, so then they go and copy it, bandwagon it, and then they add their own fakes and clickbait. That way they can try to scrape up those extra views in relation to my video, because I already broke the news, so they have to make it seem different when it really isn't. And
all those Pokétubers who did the exact same news story as you, they're clearly ripping you off. They're clearly clickbaiting. They're clearly jealous and envious of you. They're clearly stealing from you. Let's forget the fact that YouTube is a free market. Let's forget the fact that people can make whatever videos they want, even if it happens to be the same news stories. Let's forget about all of that, because everybody knows you're the most popular Pokétuber and the only Pokétuber. And if you happen to do a news story first, you're the only one that can cover it. I'm sorry, are you fucking retarded? That's a legitimate question, by the way. Are you fucking retarded? Because the amount of ego coming from a guy that wears a fucking dog collar around his neck is so mind-numbingly stupid that it may as well just be a spoiled kid saying, "These are my Lego bricks and nobody else can touch them." Yeah. So what? So fucking what that they did the same news story as you? Who gives a shit? And they were leaks. They were leaks over a game that hasn't even been officially announced yet. So is it really stealing? If they see your video and say, I want to do that exact same news story, there's nothing wrong with that. Let's use a little real-world logic here. If CNN happens to cover a news story first, does that mean that MSNBC and Fox News can't cover it? Or if IGN covers a story first about video games, does that mean GameSpot, Polygon, and Game Informer can't cover it? No! Everybody covers the exact same news story. In fact, multiple people cover the same news stories. And there's no problem with it, because YouTube is a free market. You are far from the only Pokétuber out there. So if other Pokétubers wanted to cover it, that's their choice. They can do that. You don't own a news story. You don't own the news. I mean, seriously, and to go so far as to call the Pokétubers who did the same news story as you scum is just ridiculous. That is, I mean, to do that, you must have a ginormous ego to do that. You must think you're so far above everybody else and better than everybody else to think, well, if I do a news story, I'm the only one that can do it. Everyone else is just copying me. I mean, really though? Like, oh wow. I can't wrap my head around how egotistical you actually are, Verlisify. You are an egotistical cunt. And I mean that sincerely, because you're not better than everybody else. You're certainly not the most popular Pokétuber. You're far from the most popular Pokétuber. In fact, there are so many other Pokétubers, two of which I highlighted in this very video, that are far more popular than you. So quit it with this whole "I'm the most popular Pokétuber" bullshit, okay? Fuck it, you're probably not even in the top 10. And like I said, if somebody wants to cover the same news story as you, then they're able to do it. Like, I mean, it's not like are you gonna, it's not like somebody else is gonna throw a tirade if you happen to cover the same news story as them, because that would be stupid. But then again, you're Verlisify, so you look for anything to bitch and complain about because it's a lot easier than actually engaging and talking with people. Oh, if you didn't believe me that Verlisify was egotistical, if you didn't believe me that Verlisify is a piece of shit, then this may be able to convince you. He actually turned down a Pokemon match with one of his fans who just so happened to be dying from cancer. I give up. I have no words. If these are the kinds of people we have living in our society, then humanity is fucked. The aliens might as well just invade and vaporize us all right now. Because that would be an infinitely more enjoyable experience than dealing with this utterly disgusting human being. What firmly puts Verlisify in POS territory is the fact that he accused Logan Castro, aka Yellowbox VGC, of being a racist. Or to be more specific, he accused him of creating a racist Twitter account to accuse him of being racist. It has to be heard to be believed, so let's roll the clip, shall we?
This seems like Lorcy, or someone in their circle created this to then attack me with it, because there's too much insider information. You know, knowing access the account hours before it got banned when this account has had no engagement with anyone. There is no way for this account to have been found unless someone created it.
You want evidence to prove that my possibly fabricated claim is correct? Oh my god! They want evidence! They want proof. Can you believe that right now? Can you believe it? They want evidence. They want proof. I'm done. I'm serious. I'm done. I'm done. Oh, they want evidence. They want proof. This is just a crazy world we're living in, eh? Evidence, proof. You don't need evidence. You don't need proof. You just need to believe me because I'm Verlisify. goddammit. Oh, and to top it all off, to put the cherry on top of this shit sundae, he fires off this hilarious little gem here.
Like, I'm going to say it's absolutely abhorrent. I never, ever encourage this behavior.
Like, I'm going to say it's absolutely abhorrent. I never, ever encourage this behavior.
I'm going to say it's absolutely abhorrent. I never, ever encourage this behavior.
Oh, really now? You don't encourage this type of abhorrent racist behavior? You don't facilitate this kind of racist behavior? Oh, it's Logan's fault. He's the racist. He's slandering you because he called you out on your bullshit. You don't do anything wrong because you're the almighty Verlisify. You're not a racist. You don't do anything that's racist. That is bullshit. And I can prove that that is absolute bullshit. Just a few weeks ago, you fired off a series of racially insensitive tweets about Muslims, and I'm going to showcase those tweets right now, because unlike you, Verlis, I actually have evidence to back up what I'm saying. Have people forgotten what a Muslim is? Their belief system makes them hate you, and you want to let them in? So he's pretty much saying that all Muslims hate Americans and that it's ingrained in their beliefs to hate anyone who isn't like them. Not only is that inherently false, but it's also some serious racial stereotyping. You accuse Logan of being a racist without any evidence, without any proof, and then you go and do some dumb shit like this, and on your Twitter account no less. You're one of the most well-known names within the Pokemon community. You're infamous within the Pokemon community. Why the hell did you think doing something like this would be a good idea? Social media is great because it allows people to say stupid shit without really thinking about the consequences. Because saying something like this will make people believe that you actually are racist. Now, I want to make it abundantly clear that I'm not saying that Verlisify is racist, because he's not, but these tweets are racially insensitive. I don't think anybody can deny that. Just because some Muslims hate Americans, just because it's ingrained in the beliefs of some Muslims to hate people that are not like them, does not mean that every Muslim is like that. And you should very well know this. But that's not what's going to bring attention to yourself, because that's all you care about, the fucking attention. And the fact that you had to go to such an abhorrent route to get attention just proves that you're an utter piece of shit. Anyways, let's move on to the next tweet. And I am certainly not against anyone from the Middle East. There are many fine people there. Unfortunately, the culture is not good for us. I'm not against Muslims, you guys. I'm totally not against Muslims. That previous tweet, nah, that never happened. Me derading Muslims and saying, oh, they just hate people. They just want to hate people. It's ingrained in their culture. I did not say that. I'm not against Muslims, you guys. They're fine people. Oh, but they're all terrorists. They just want to kill people. I'm totally not against Muslims, you guys. Please don't unfollow me on Twitter. Please don't unfollow me on Twitter. Unfortunately, he completely washes away this notion of not being against Muslims with this next tweet. You can't call an entire group bad, except devout Muslims are, by definition, the dangerous ones. Sharia law is not compatible in the West. To say that you are a piece of shit would be an insult to shit itself. Shit is above the level of you, Verlisify. These have to be some of the most racially insensitive tweets I have ever seen. This is fucking racist, and I don't think anybody can deny it. They are incredibly racist. And, oh, Muslims just want to kill people. They're nothing more than terrorists. They just want to watch America burn because they all believe in Sharia law. And by the way, it's not Sharia law, you mongoloid dog collar wearing fucktard. It's Sharia's law. It really just goes to show you how ignorant Verlisify is when it comes to topics that aren't Pokemon. Hell, he's ignorant when it comes to Pokemon in general, so it really isn't surprising. Just fuck this guy. Just fuck him. Just fuck him up the ass with a razor-bladed dragon penis up his slithery, slimy anus. Like, who the fuck thinks like this? That's what I want to know, really. Who the fuck thinks like this? This type of mentality is dangerous. And I truly believe that Verlisify does not deserve the massive audience that he has. Now, normally I don't say that people shouldn't deserve this or shouldn't deserve that, because I'm not the litmus test over what should and shouldn't be popular, or what people should and shouldn't like. People like what they like. But Verlisify does not deserve 365,000 subscribers. That is for damn sure. And the reason I say that is because there are a lot of gullible people out there. A lot of ignorant people that don't know what is going on. So they'll see this tweet and think, oh, all Muslims are like that. Because Verlisify says it, then it must be true. So I'm just going to go and attack some Muslims, call them all a bunch of terrorists and dangerous and all this other shit. Because Verlisify said it. And if Verlisify says it, then it must be true. Then it creates this whole shitstorm that just balloons upon itself. And at a time when race relations in the world are at an all-time low, shit like this is not needed. So while yes, Verlisify may not be directly encouraging it, this sets a dangerous precedent when it comes to race relations. Because again, people will see this, and they might engage in some racist behavior. So while he may not be encouraging it, he's definitely facilitating it. Just fuck you. Fuck you. Seriously, just fuck you. I have no words. I am struggling to come up what I'm gonna say about this. And you wanna know what's worse? You wanna know what's worse? He's friends with Keemstar. No, I'm not kidding. Check this out. Verlisify is a piece of shit, and Keemstar is a piece of shit. So is it really any surprise that the two biggest pieces of shit on YouTube are friends? No, it certainly doesn't surprise me. And by the way, Verlis, people don't hate you because you're real and you tell it how it is. People hate you because you're constantly making false accusations without any evidence or proof. You're constantly attacking others like Tamashi, Jwitz, Tartuba, and Wolf Glick. And you can't accept criticism because you're constantly blocking people who disagree with you. Oh, speaking of which, do you want to know what happened to me when I criticized his racially insensitive Muslim tweets? Well, this is what happened to me. I'm done. Let's just give this channel a score and send it back to the fiery pits of hell where it belongs. I've examined the bad and I've examined the awful, so let's fire up the examometer and give this channel a score. Verlis, you have given the Pokemon community on YouTube a bad name. You are the reason why the Pokemon community on YouTube is so looked down upon. You single-handedly destroyed it. You make everybody in this community look terrible. Now, some of you may argue that Tamashi has done considerably more damage to the Pokemon community, but you know what? Aside from all the bullshit she does in her videos, aside from her flaws, she actually sounds like a nice person that you would want to have a conversation with in real life. And I would love to talk and have a conversation with her in real life. At least she actually has some sort of redeeming qualities. This guy has none of that. If I see this guy in person, I'm either telling him off or I'm running for the goddamn hills. This is one of the most toxic YouTubers I have ever seen. Now, I could highlight all the reasons why Verlisify is an utter cancer to the YouTube community, but at this point, I don't really need to. That's already been well documented, not only in this video, but through all of the other people that have made videos about Verlisify. You know? And to be honest with you, this is the reason why the Pokemon community on YouTube is so toxic. It's Verlisify. He's the cause of most of it. He is why the Pokemon community on YouTube is looked down upon. It's why it's toxic. It's why there's considerable tension. And like I said before, Verlisify, it's not because people hate you because, oh, you tell the truth or you tell it how it is. It's because of how you act. It's because of your personality. Invest in a mirror. In fact, get rid of that fucking dog collar. Invest in a mirror and look at yourself and realize that you, not me, not Doodle Tones, not Blood Fantasy 91, not Tamashi, Jwitz, not any of the people that have made videos calling you out on your bullshit. It's not our fault. It is your fault. So you need to do that and look. Just admit when you fuck up, okay? Just admit it, and people would have slightly more respect for you. And for all the content creators out there that are thinking about collaborating with Verlisify, please don't. Watch this video, or watch the dozens of other videos people have made against Verlisify, and seriously rethink this decision. He's not only a cancer to the Pokemon community, but he's just a cancer to the YouTube community in general. And the fact that he is as big as the fact that he has as many subscribers as he has is honestly quite astonishing. It's sad. It really, really is. Now, if you like Verlisify, that's completely fine, but if these are the kinds of people that are going to be influencing future generations, then we're all fucked. Honestly, if you gave me a choice between collaborating with Verlisify or killing myself, I would make my last meal a double Big Mac, then have Eric and Brandon tie my own noose, keep the chair away, so I can dangle from the ceiling, hanging like a human piñata. That would be an infinitely more enjoyable experience than ever collaborating with Verlisify, ever collaborating with the likes of him. Because let's be honest, he's a fucking scumbag, and he will always be a fucking scumbag. Well, that's all I gotta say. This examination is over. This is ThatKidDouglas, aka the Unhero, signing out. Deuces, stay frosty, and keep it real. Cue an outro sequence now.